Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Denver for the fifth race in the 2022 NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series. We're gearing up for 36 laps of action around this high-speed oval in the state of Colorado as we are at the final stop for the West Coast swing for the Truck Series. Went to California for 2 races. Now we're in Colorado after 2 weeks off, Easter break, all that fun stuff. And I'm joined with my man, Vince Freeze. And it is actually not cold in Colorado right now. We are in April.
Yeah, the snow has melted. Here we are. Let's see who will find that high line, no pun intended there. But Audra Baranauskas won our only Jerky Pro Truck Series race in 2018 on fuel strategy. Get that out of the way. A lot of rookies, Zach. This should be an interesting mix between rookies and vets, how they deal with it. Front row's interesting. The battle continues between Don Cage and Audra. I expect a lot of good things. Sam Young, our previous race winner, can he do something? He's down there in the dumps, looking to get 2 in a row, go back to back. And what overall, let's see what happens with Denver. I haven't been here in 4 years to see where the lines and how the draft will play compared to the Cup Series. This could be a fun one today. Back to you.
First time pole sitter here in the Jerky Pro Truck Series at this track. Winnie Calhoun, her first career pole in the series, and she's got Benjamin Ice to her outside. Audra Baranauskas, previous race winner, as you mentioned, with Bradley Ream in row 2. Delon Ibrahimian and Christian Russell, row 3. We got a couple of rookies starting in the top 10 here today. Pat Johnson, Zachary DeLello in row 4 with PJ Vidal and last race's winner, Sam Young. Gonna speed through the rest of the starting grid here. There you see Donovan Cage in 15th. As mentioned, the battle between him and Baranauskas for most all-time wins continues as well as the championship. But expecting a one-stop race here. Fuel window should be about 18 to 22 laps. So command has just been given to our drivers as we are in post tape delay here, whatever you want to call it. Tape delay, that's what you call it. You cannot hear the command, but yes, so some small technical difficulties. Y'all who commentate, y'all know what I'm talking about without me having to say it. You should know why we're in tape delay. But yeah, we're looking at probably anywhere from 2 to 3 seconds of tire fall off. And Baranauskas won this race back in 2018 on fuel strategy. Fun fact, that race was 44 laps, and it was actually the first time this track was visited between both series. It was not originally a Cup track. But we did come here in 2019, ran the oval and then the roval. Got rid of the roval, and we've just been running the oval and Cup since then. But yeah, first year back here for the Truck Series since 2018. Should be a fun one.
Yeah, man, looking forward to it. Got a great front row here. We got Ben Ice and Willie Calhoun. Audra Cage battle is going to be fun. Penske's up there as an organization. I expect this to be a fun one, man, especially with the outside line, the draft coming in. But as that pace car turns a hard left, as we get closer to the green, man, I expect this to be fun. The fans are up on their feet. We got Ice Baby out there. I just talked about that. Here we go into this restart zone. And Winnie Calhoun will lead us to green here at Denver.
And the truck's going from a pace speed of about 65 mile an hour, and they will get through the corners at about $1.65 as we are going 4 wide. Make that 5 wide into turn 1. Christian Russell way out of the groove, is going to lose a ton of positions there. PJ Vidal is going to have to check up big time on the apron. And man, we saw a lot of drivers spread it out there into turn 1. But up at the front for the race lead, it is Ice and Calhoun side by side. And give the advantage to Ice. He got just as good of a jump as the pole sitter. And the rookie is going to be unable to lead him back to the start-finish line. Lap 1 complete. Race leader, Benjamin Ice.
Big Ben Ice, I like this call, man. Third in points. He's looking to... Maybe if Cage and Baranauskas have a falter today, this could be a good points day. As you see Pat Johnson clear and Jack James looking to clear Russell back there as Audra slips up out of 1-2.
See Audra currently riding in 6th place. Ibrahimian up to 3rd, Ream down to 5th. Mentioned the point standings. Ice coming in 33 points behind Cage. Baranauskas second, 16 back. And Pat Johnson, Gene Sanford entering 47 back each. Just 2 rookies, top 10 of the points. Alongside Pat Johnson, is Roger James, 7th in the standings. Winnie Calhoun actually entered this race 11th, Vince. Oops, that is the pace truck. And Roger James currently sitting just outside of the top 30. We'll see if scoring updates here, if he jumped up inside the top 30 or not. And it does not appear so. But Donovan Cage, Vince, already making quick work from 15th to 9th. Sam Young 1 spot down to 11th. And Lucas Catano, who started a few positions behind the 6, he has made his way forward. He is currently riding in 12th place.
Yeah, there's tires where Donovan Cage will start picking off some of these rookies and people at the front. You see Pat Johnson losing a spot there. Expect Donovan Cage also to gain one on Pat there as well. But Winnie Calhoun is hanging in there as a rookie in second. Got to be a good showing as Donovan Cage does clear.
And there, Cage going to get by Pat Johnson there. You got Jack James up here as well, veteran driver, 13 out of Thor Sport. James coming in 6th in the points, 55 back. So, you know, it's still early in the year, Vince, but it's only an 18-race season. And, you know, we got Denver today. We've got Richmond in a few weeks in the middle of May, and then Martinsville right after it. But then we don't go racing again until July 1st. The Truck Series is going to have a 5-week break from May 20th to July 1st. And that is the longest break on the schedule, but there is still another long break after July and after just a lone race in August. So, you know, quite the spread for the Truck Series this year. And who knows what the schedule could look like for the Truck Series next year. As, you know, we're just going one race at a time here, but it's always something to think about. By the way, to change the topic, Baranauskas has made it up to 2nd. Calhoun has dropped to 3rd. And she might drop further as now Ibrahimium is on her outside.
It's where the rookies start to lose time, and you see just all over, not clean lines. The super speedway style racing happens these first 4 or 5 laps, but after lap 5, the cliff starts to come in. You got guys like DeLello, James, Cage, and Sam Young starting to move to the front. Cream always rises to the top, buddy.
And Zachary DeLello is only in his 2nd season here in the Truck Series. He's impressing pretty well here today. Running in the top 5 at the moment. He is under fire for that position from the 13. And where does DeLello come in the point standings in this race? I am having to look down quite a far away. 38th in the points. But he has a top 10, so he's gotten one good finish, and it has been bottom of the barrel since. I want to say that top 10 came at Daytona, Vince, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, Daytona, you can sometimes carry a run, as I like to say, at Daytona, and help in the point standings. But now the battle up front's heating up. Top 3 in points right there. We got 1st and 3rd. This should be a really good battle. I think Baranauskas looks better, man, 1 and 2, but Ice seems to carry off 3 and 4, which matters at the start-finish line at the end of the day.
By the way, that's 2nd and 3rd in the points. Reminder that Donovan Cage is your points leader right now.
Yeah, it's a long day right there on my end.
Yes, our broadcaster was out here playing basketball with the local sports teams for 6 hours, and I think he played a little too long. He's off his mojo, but Delon Ibrahimium closing the gap there in 3rd, Vince, and you see Calhoun, the lone driver right now with a big gap back to DeLello.
Yeah, tire wear's kicking in, though. I think this is where tire wear starts to kick in. You start to lose the edge grip on the right side, and these rights take a beating here. But I want to see what Ibrahimium does. He could play a role. And also, pit. We talked about pit strategy. Do you want to have a clear opening, right? You want to make up time on entry. At a place like this, pit stops is crucial.
Right now, Ice continuing to lead over Audra. You can see Audra doing all she can to get the most out of the corner. You see those little jerks forward and back off the 93. So really trying to push her truck middle of the corner. Let's take a run through the back of the field here, Vince. See who is struggling today. We've got Will Parrish at the back of the field. Started the season off with 3 straight top 10s. did not do well at Willow Springs, and now we see him at the back of the field here in Denver. Got Owen Miles as well riding at the back. Chris White. Jean Sanford has not gone anywhere today compared to how she went from the back of the field at Atlanta. Mason Dagger, Max Anderson, a veteran driver. Henry Sanford, of all people, struggling. Yael Carrillo. Tough to see them back here with all these rookie drivers. Here's our Daytona winner, Enzo Nereza, currently in 24th place. I believe he just got by Lane Sanders there. Now under fire from Morris Reeves. Actually, that is a battle for 23rd. Reggie Fogelman having a decent day here, 21st place. See, Pat Johnson has fallen down to 19th. PJ Vidal, we saw make that big move on lap 1. He is 18th. Blaine Saylor, Ron Bishop, Roy Ribbleton, Scott Roush, Mitchell Collins, Jack Holton, and Bradley Ream has now fallen outside the top 10. Christian Russell struggling to stay inside the top 10. It is just Russell and Calhoun right now, the two lone rookies running in the top 10. See, Jack James has faded down to 8th as Catano has moved into that position. And we saw a bit of a spread at first, Vince, but now draft playing a factor. Once again, you see Sam Young up to 7th. Donovan Cage trying to get by Winnie Calhoun for 5th. And Zachary DeLello, man, he's really impressing me right now running in 4th place.
Yeah, the Intimidator's coming on these intermediate 2-mile tracks, and I think that's Donovan Cage's lurking. Playing it cool, understand the aero package here. A lot of aero wash. You're going to see that a little bit with DeLello looking for cleaner lines on the outside. I think playing it cool, saving a little bit of your stuff on this long run will help.
So far, for the first run, at least, fastest lap belongs to Sam Young, a 44.104. That's definitely some draft playing out there, but you see Cage 2nd, Baranauskas 3rd. Race leader Benjamin Ice is in 5th. But the 29, 6, and 21 are 3 previous race winners, our top 3 on the time charts. So far this year, we have had 1 Ram, 1 Ford, and 2 Chevy drivers get a win. No driver has won twice. And looking at track history, Baranauskas being the only driver to have won here before. She did it driving the 21 for GMS Racing in what was her first career win, and it was driving a Chevy. Audra has been with GMS her entire career, but she has never been in the same truck from year to year. Except for from last year to this year. She was in the 21 in 2018. In 2019, I believe she was in the 23. Then in 2020, we saw her in the 24. And then a return to the 21 last year got her the championship. And she's also driving the #1 in the Cup Series for Chip Ganassi. So, yeah, so 20s and then single digits, Vince.
Yeah, it sounds like a zebra right there. A bunch of stripes going one way, the other way. But no, Audra's really had a consistent career. A lot of big hype in the preseason as another championship to go back-to-back. We'll see. And now the ends have flipped. It seems like Audra's better in 3 and 4. Ice seems to hold the draft and knows how to block the aero wash in 1 and 2. Doing a great job.
Seeing about a second of fall off. You see Ice down to about 165 there in 1 and 2. I guess they were going a little faster, actually, on fresh tires, Vince. Excuse me, I misspoke at the beginning of the run. Probably more around speeds of about 170 to 172. But you see, Audra had the check up there. She was peeking up top. That gives Ibrahimian a chance to dive to the bottom. He checks up. That's going to put DeLello to his outside. As Donovan Cage is the only one left right now in range in 5th. And Zachary DeLello is going to clear Ibrahimian for 3rd. Now it looks like Calhoun is kind of parking the bus on these guys. You got Catano up here now all of a sudden in 7th. Sam Young, Jack James, Christian Russell still the rest of the top 10. As Mitchell Collins has risen up a little bit more. He is now in 11th. But you can see the big gap starting to spread now. Vince from Blaine Saylor on back. As you see some more rookies starting to fall like Pat Johnson. But some veterans, not all the veterans are moving forward as we see Henry Sanford still struggling. Same with Max Anderson and others. Notably Yael Carrillo. Will Parrish is no longer in last. It's now Gene Sanford.
That's a tough break there for Sanford. And look at this. DeLello's looking on that outside. Audra. I think he's going to do a little crossover, but might get arrow blocked there for a second. He will. He'll have to wash up on 1-2.
You see Catano on the inside of Winnie Calhoun there in the distance, and he will complete the pass. And Vince, we've seen it be very tough to make passes on the inside line. One thing I expected to happen was we wouldn't really see it maybe until tire strategy kicked in, with drivers having fresher tires than somebody else. But there you can see just the experience difference between a rookie driver and someone with experience like Catano. Just Catano has saved his stuff, and that's allowed him to grip the inside line next to another truck in order to complete that pass.
For sure, less steering inputs. A lot of these rookies don't know how to handle plowing tight, especially into these Denver corners. I mean, these corners were wide and sweeping, man. Similar to Fontana, but much different with a tighter radius. I expect this pit stop to be coming as Donovan Cage has now joined the party.
By the way, I didn't think to mention this, but might be worth mentioning. If you look at the banner on the front windshield, by the way, as Baranauskas is going to put a move on ice for the lead real quick. Camping World is no longer on the front windshield banner. It is Napa Auto Parts. So new sponsorship there for the series, with Napa Auto Parts now on the front windshield, and some trucks still carrying the Camping World logo on the back. But of course, Jerky Pro is still the main sponsor of the series. But just a little thing to note there.
Yeah, good nugget to notice. We watched this race. Audra, you see, definitely held her line though. It looks like it's going to overtake DeLello if he gets help from Ibrahimian. If not, I think Ibrahimian might be able to stay on the outside. I think Audra will check up in 3 and 4. Side draft there, yep.
Halfway through the race, does anybody come to pit road here this time by? You would be cutting the race completely in half if you did so. But, you know, Vince, I think with the Cup Series it would make sense, but with the Truck Series, not really, because even though we've gone to some high tire-wearing tracks like Atlanta and Auto Club, the draft plays a big role. So, you know, if you come out behind somebody, you know, like say you win an extra lap or so, but you still come out in their draft, even if you're like a second and a half back, you will catch right back up like nothing, as these trucks are very draft reliant. So DeLello gets by for second, but I really think the overcut might be the way to go here once again, and that was, I believe, the strategy to go for at Atlanta.
Nothing wrong with having a friend or two, I think, on pit road. Undercutting is good, but it doesn't do you anything. Yeah, I just noticed that DeLello and Audra, when they're at the front, they can get to the back bumper of ice, but they just get stuck in that dirty air, and it's washing out. Now, let's see if DeLello makes a move on this inside, or he's just going to run out of steam on the straight. Goes outside, a little Pruitt fade action. Still going high with the Pruitt fade, but he's going to go down low. There we go. But I think he'll check up a little bit.
We see Donovan Cage has made it by Ibrahimian for fourth, as Catano and Sam Young start to close the gap. I think we're looking at maybe a 7-horse race, Vince. It's really going to depend on the strategy game. As you see Audra to the outside of DeLello here, coming to what will be 16 laps to go. Will anybody drop it down to the pit lane? And I think DeLello is coming, because that was a huge check right there. And yes, indeed, Benjamin Ice Race leader Zachary DeLello and Sam Young, they will all jump on down to pit road here at lap 20. See Jack James also in from the top 10. Scott Roush from 14th place. Any other takers? And Gene Sanford has come in from last events, and I think that's a great call, because if you pit with everybody else, you're going to really have to hit on the brakes there coming down a busy pit road. So I think this was a great decision by the 8. I don't think there's any way, with how much the field gets spread out when a ton of people come down pit road, I don't think there's any way we would see the 8 fall back down the last. So I think this was a great decision by the team.
There's Audra.
Next time by, Audra is leading in the rest of the front runners. Winnie Calhoun did a good job to stay top 10. As you see, still a big gap from Blaine Saylor on back. And, ooh, look at Max Anderson running around the outside there to gain a couple positions. Very smart move. But it looks like everybody else is going to come down to the pit lane. And Benjamin Ice will lead his group off.
It's all about getting those cold tires up to speed. The well staying in draft. Sam Young is just in range as they go underneath the apron. We'll see who has the fastest stop. We talked about Cage versus Baranauskas head-to-head. Let's find out who has the best pit crew on these round of stops here.
So seeing Ice has draft from Zachary DeLello. And I believe Sam Young is right there, too, in the draft as well. So Jack James, Scott Roush, and Gene Sanford, of course, I believe the latter two, not in range here in the draft. But we'll have to see where they line up. There is Audra, Cage, Catano, and Ibrahimium. So as expected, Ice will retain the race lead. DeLello and Sam Young will go by for second and third. That'll slot Audra down to fourth, Cage in fifth, Catano sixth, Ibrahimium seventh. Jack James will move into eighth, which was where he was running. Scott Roush is going to be in the top 10 here. Not sure if it will be 9th or 10th, but Mitchell Collins has jumped up into the top 10, and Winnie Calhoun has fallen down to 11th. Racing side by side with that position with Roy Ribbleton. 13th, Blaine Saylor by his lonesome. Jack Holton, Christian Russell, Bradley Ream, Brandon Mayhew, Gene Sanford, Vince, up to 18th place. What a move. Great strategy play. Go ahead, Vince.
My bad, man. No, I was going to say, I don't think she's going to lose it. I know track position definitely matters in the beginning, but as long as she keeps her tires in check, that could be a top 25 saving run for sure.
See Mayhew checking up there. That's going to give Sanford a position. Reggie Fogelman, last driver, inside the top 20. That brings us down to Ron Bishop and Lane Sanders with Daniel Brown out of draft range of them in 23rd. Max Anderson has gained a couple positions, now up to 24th. You know, he took that wider arc into the pit lane and still hit the commitment cone. As you see Pat Johnson and Austin Tyler there. Jessica Strauss. Henry Sanford has gained a few positions, but he is still struggling in 28th place. We'll have to see if any adjustments were made to that truck to help him move through some of this traffic. Brad Lewis, Austin Tyler, Billy Kidd, Mason Dagger, Enzo Nereza, Yael Carrillo still down in the dumps in 34th now after passing Roger James. Hayes Green, Morris Reeves, Will Parrish, Chris White, Hunter Braxton, Owen Miles, and Cody Magarick round out the field.
The odds are slowly closing in now. That extra lap, fresher tires. Donovan Cage just hasn't got up to speed yet. That could be big in the championship and also for this race win as Benjamin Ice continues to lead, and he's just playing the aero game well.
And Audra ran the fastest lap of, well, second fastest lap of the race. That passed time by a 43.959. See, the only driver faster than her is Henry Sanford with a 43.924. So they must have done something good to that 87 truck, Vince. He might be actually looking pretty good at gaining some positions on this run.
Could be. And now I think we're starting to get into this area where Audra has the best tires. She's caught them. Can she pass it? That'll be a big talking point these last 11 laps here. And what does Benjamin Ice do? He's definitely had the best car on the short run, but the long run he seems to fade with the last 3 or 4 laps to go compared to a pit stop. Now we're going to the checkers. Shorter run, we'll see what happens.
Couple things we forgot to mention at the end of the race last time out at Willow Springs was Baranauskas broke the tie for most career top 10s with James Ellison. 31 career top 10s for Audra coming into this race as she looks to the inside of Sam Young for third. She came into this race with 19 career top 5s, looking to be the first to 20 top 5s. And Donovan Cage is right behind her now, second in all-time for top 5s with 17. Cage does not have that many top 10s, though. In comparison, he's got 19 career top 10s, so he's looking for top 10 number 20 of his career. As Cage has always been one of those drivers, Vince, that seems to either finishes top 5 or he doesn't finish top 10 at all. You know, only two finishes in the top 10 that were not top 5s. That's crazy.
I see the old phrase boom or bust, man. He's either booming or he's busted for sure. But Benjamin Iceman right now, he's going to have more companies. I think Donovan Cage has saved his stuff like a pro, and now is starting to close that gap within 5/10 from 1.57 to about 1 second, really. I think he's definitely coming. And they keep battling up there. Watch out.
We've got 1 Ram, 2 Fords, and 2 Chevys in the top 5 with a 3.5+ second gap back to 6th of Mitchell Collins now. As top 10 drivers has not changed since pit stops. And likely won't, as it's only Ribbleton and Calhoun, about 2.5 seconds back from Roush, with then a 5-second gap back to Bradley Ream.
A little inside there, he's got a big run. Same Audra on the outside. A little crossover action there, but Sam Young will take that cut. And DeLello, I think, is going to have a good drive here, but we'll just have a slight checkup, and that will help. Ooh, it's going to be close, but I think it helps Ice on the outside. Yep.
Well, Audra cleared Sam Young completely. DeLello still side by side with Ice. And that's going to let Audra really close the gap up now. Oh, but she goes a little high. She got into the dirty stuff. That's going to put her up top 3 wide. But DeLello checks on the inside of Ice. Now Cage side by side with Sam Young. That fresher tire's helping him grip the inside. As now Baranauskas gets a run on the outside of DeLello. Looking for second place.
I think Audra, she gets into second now. After studying Benjamin Ice as the rapid for the last 20 laps in that first run, let's say, that could be a crucial way to win this race. Now, Donovan Cage, if he has any chance, has to get around Sam Young soon. We're getting close to the 6 to go here. Or, yeah, I think next lap will be 6 to go.
Yep, next time by would be 6 to go. Audra will clear DeLello. Cage was looking like he was going to have the edge there off the corner. Now he's got no draft. And he is trying to hold. Sam Young trying to fight back. And off the corner, still not quite clear. We'll see if Cage gets draft here down the tri-oval. I believe he should.
A little bit.
He will clear Sam Young for 4th. But that has allowed the top 3 to drive away. Oh man, Vince, Audra Baranauskas. She wasn't the first to 7 career wins, but she might be the first to 8. That's another battle between her and Donovan Cage on the all-times list. They came into this tied at 7. As the next highest active driver is Henry Sanford with 3. Then I'm looking down the list, and Vince, the only other driver in the series with multiple career wins is Yael Carrillo with 2. So we've got 4 drivers with multiple wins active in the truck series right now. That is insane.
Yeah, but out of those 4, 2 of them are really hard to beat, man, on a week-in basis. And man, Audra's still in the same fate as that first run. Knows what to do in 3 and 4, but slips up in 1, 2. Benjamin Ice is doing a great job blocking the aero launch, blocking out the plow in tight condition. But now Baranauskas has a big run down the back straightaway. I think she might try to go low or do a proven fade high. Well, gonna go low.
She's looking low here, coming to what will be 4 laps to go next time by. And they are catching Morris Reeves slowly. Reeves has an issue, unsure what the case is, but he is down on power big time, and he may play a factor in this finish.
Audra Baranauskas going to go low, but that may not work because I think Benjamin Ice will carry out the momentum. Tires are starting to wear. It's not going to be as easy compared to the earlier move she made on Sam Young.
Donovan Cage is going to dive it in on DeLello. That forces DeLello to swing it up middle of the corner. Audra will clear Ice for the lead. And Cage, giving her that draft, will slot into 3rd.
Rifles on the track, but working together.
Oh,
wow.
And Ice got up there too high, and that gives Cage 2nd place. And here we go, Vince. It's on.
Yeah, this is, I'm starting to get flashbacks here to a certain F1 rivalry last year. But here we go. This is going to be fun. Audra Baranauskas, Donovan Cage, 3 to go. We got a lap truck in front. DeLello's clear for 3rd. Man, this is it.
Top 10 has still not changed. It's Collins, Ibrahimian, Catano, James, and Scott Roush, your top 10. Ribbleton and Winnie Calhoun have closed the gap just a bit.
All right, It's like Audra's out front, seems to have the quickest car, most trimmed out. But what can Donovan Cage do in the dirty air? He's going to go a little lower in 3 and 4 just to understand his weaknesses and strengths. And I think he'll get a big draft on the 1-2 on the next time by. I could see something low. We'll find out.
Gene Sanford has maintained a top 20 position as Henry Sanford, her brother, has jumped up to 20th. 2 laps to go. Can Donovan Cage do anything to get a run on Baranauskas? He's peeking to the inside. He's not quite there, but he's looking low, and he will check up. He can't quite get it to the inside of the 21. Ice now to the inside of the Lullo, looking to take back third.
Audra's getting a big boost with that draft. It may not be much, but this could be a big lap here in a 3 and 4 next time by.
Gonna go into 3 and 4 here. Second to last time into this corner. Audra has really pulled the gap from Donovan Cage, Vince.
Here we go, buddy. Now they're going to catch that lap truck, but for right now, it's Audra Baranauskas into this restart zone, and now entering the white flag lap here at Denver.
She's gonna take it high. Reeves will hold the line on the inside line. Audra will clear him into the corner. Cage will have to go high, but Reeves, he's still got grip in the corner.
That's it.
And he's going to be stuck in the middle here. Cage couldn't even really close the distance back. And I think that is going to do it, barring any unforeseen circumstance to the driver of the 21. Ice got back by DeLello for third. But through 3 and 4, for the second time this season, it's going to be your 2021 champion, Audra Baranauskas' 8th career win. First time ever. And Audra remains undefeated at this racetrack. The first win, a fuel strategy win. She was the only driver to make it on a one-stop. This time, she gets it done, outracing the entire field.
Yeah, shades of Seth Cole at Phoenix just owns this track right now. That's Audra territory, but man, we got to give it to Donovan Cage. I mean, he played his cards right, just couldn't find a move in 1 and 2. It ran out of tire life, I think, at the end, but she'll see a little bit of a congratulatory wide by there.
Cage will come home in second. His points lead will now drop to a 10-point margin. 5 races into the season with 13 to go. Ice will come home third. DeLello fourth. Great day for him. Sam Young in fifth. Mitchell Collins, Delon Ibrahimian, Jack James, Scott Roush, Lucas Catano, your top 10. Rest of your race results will scroll across the screen. And we will see you guys for the Jerky Pro Truck Series next time in a few weeks at Richmond. But more soon is the Digital Storm Cup Series race tomorrow afternoon here at Denver. 44 laps of action. We'll see you guys then.
Signing off.